Hey Soul Fam! So I'm here with my friend Laura Cherry, and Laura Cherry and I have been Laura and I have been friends for years and years. We used to model together, and now Laura is a creative dance artist. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's
and
right.
also you're going to be launching your own transformational dance workshop soon. So I'm going to be interviewing Laura about dance and how dance can be used to heal the body and how she came to her journey and all of that good stuff. So do you just want to start off by explaining, how would you explain transformational dance in a nutshell?
Okay, sure. So the main thing about dance is throughout time it's been like a form of celebration. It's been a way to express yourself, express creativity, joy, release yourself from sadness, and basically it's celebrated all around the world in many different traditions. Now some of these traditions obviously have dances and styles that are linked to that particular tradition.
Sorry.
That's alright, you can fix it.
Technical
it's a bit
set issues.
DIY in here at the minute. What I found on my journey, I trained as a contemporary dancer. What I found on my journey is that dance, what I prefer to do most now is actually natural dance, and I feel like natural dance...
Freestyle.
Yeah, freestyle. Yeah. Natural dance is a way to talk without words, and it's a way to express what often words can't express.
Yeah.
So I believe this is how dance really came around, because it's a really powerful movement, it's a really, really powerful art form, and it's a way to express things which often just can't be said, and it can raise your vibration. So I actually have been practicing natural dance from when I was very young, and I'd just wake up in the morning as a kid and go into the living room and put on MTV2 at the time.
Yeah.
Old school, and just literally just leap around in the morning. I didn't realise what I was doing was actually letting out a lot of steam and trauma and stuff when I was a kid, but I just thought it felt right. So it felt good for me to do it. I wasn't performing for anyone, I was just doing it for myself. So I think this is what natural dance, transformational dance is: a way to heal, it's a way to celebrate yourself, it's a way to speak what words can't always speak. And one of my favourite quotes by contemporary dance pioneer Martha Graham is, the body speaks, what words cannot. And I really, really believe that. So basically natural dance is great because it's not in steps and it's no choreography, because a lot of the time people get put off the idea of dance because they think that they can't do the choreography, or the style isn't suited for them. And what the natural dance is you dancing to your own rhythm. And that can be found from your journey with the dance and movement. So by the music you listen to, by the experiences you have, and often it's just going into yourself. And I think it's a fantastic tool for anybody to get over pretty much anything. I just know from my own experience, when I had my darkest time, this was the only thing I could really connect to, this kind of natural dancing, and I did it a lot in that period to help me get over certain ideas. So it's really, really powerful. And because of my own experience with it, I wanted to help other people. And I feel like people are wanting, because we're waking up more now to kind of ways to heal and vibrate higher together. I think this is an amazing tool, because most people, they love music and they love dancing. The amount of times I've said to people, I've seen people dancing on nights out, and they're like, you just dance. People have a drink and they dance. They don't, and then they're like, you ask them, do you want to come to the dance? They're like, I can't dance. I'm like, you were dancing the other week. So people definitely know how to dance, and they think that just because they can't do a move, they're not dancing. Dancing could be anything. It can be something so minute. It could just be you expressing who you really are. So I think natural movement is a really great way to release tension, especially in the fast-paced world when we put a lot of stuff in. And now with the social media, I think a lot of people are coming out with stuff online and it's fantastic because it can be like a journal to our life.
Yeah.
Perhaps some things we don't want to say, perhaps you can just express them in other ways. And I think it's a great opportunity for the people that perhaps don't want to speak about their life online or to other people. They can let things go in another way rather than feeling like the intense need to, spill out a diary. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think, it's fantastic, and the people that are making change doing that is great. But it isn't the only way you can heal. As with like yoga as well, it's another kind of movement. But natural dance, obviously, because it isn't any steps or choreography. It is just you being you.
Yeah.
And that's actually really freeing.
Oh,
and
massively.
It can free up a lot of tension and stuff.
So that's it kind of reminds me of when I think one of my friends was telling me that like animals, like after they've been through some kind of trauma where they're being like hunted by a predator, they will just like go through this period where they'll just start like shaking and vibrating, and so it's literally like they're throwing off the trauma. So is it like a similar thing like that?
Yeah. Absolutely. I started getting into shaking a couple of years ago, actually.
Yeah, we did that women's circle that we went to.
Yeah. So it's shaking is an amazing way to release tension, let go, and vibrate yourself higher. And the experiments came from like the animals and what happened with the animals. But it's just an amazing way. I think there's actually a retreat. A shaking retreat, and I'm not sure if they do them in the UK, but I'd definitely be up for going.
Yeah.
You're just going to shake for quite a few hours.
Yeah.
And I've actually spoke to people that have done it, and they said it changed their life. It was, so I actually do shaking, especially when I'm feeling in a rut creatively, like I'm not getting something out, or I just want to like get something off my chest. I find that it's a really great way to release tension, and it feels weird, and like the weirder you look, the better it is type thing. It's one of those things. Like the more weird you look, you can even do it with your mouth open. It's like, it's really, really powerful. Actually.
Why do you think it is that as humans we've become so disconnected from like this very primal need to kind of move and express our bodies?
Well, I think just like purely on the fact that obviously nowadays, a lot more people have office jobs, sitting down on their phone, head down. Obviously, I'm a culprit of this because I'm sitting on the social media trying to do my thing as well. I think because of society now, it's like head down on your phone. A lot of people are having more depression and stuff, and becoming disconnected from their bodies. But at the same time, there is like a lot of people who are waking up to there's like more people doing yoga than like ever before, and there is people like waking up and stuff. But I think en masse there's this underlying current of that, like it's like a contradiction. There's like going up, but there's also you kind of it's going down with certain elements. And I think moving your body in the most natural way to you is an amazing way to just connect back to your core and even like your ancestral lineage as well. And you can actually heal some ancestral stuff through movement. I haven't got to those levels yet, but I am interested in delving more into my past lives.
It's weird that you actually said that, because do you remember that event that we went to, the Equinox party? And like Benjamin Crystal was DJing and they had like the drum circles and stuff. I remember like, okay, I'd smoking a little bit of weed beforehand, so that probably helped me like reach a slightly altered state. But the music that Ben was playing on the decks, and then the drums, and then dancing to that, I felt like I was seriously like channeling some ancestral like energy. I mean, I was high as well, so but I definitely felt like I was, channeling something through like matrilineal lines as well. It felt very, very feminine, and it felt very had a kind of Hebrew, like an ancient Hebrew vibe, like a Middle Eastern type vibe. And I know that I've traced my ancestry kind of up from like Punjab up to like Afghanistan and then Uzbekistan as well. So we're now getting like close to like kind of Russia, Middle East, kind of Central Asia area. So, maybe, in ancient times, but probably all of our ancestors were from that part of the world. But it was weird. It was like, and I was seeing all this like you know, and like you do like ayahuasca and you see all the like the shapes.
Yeah.
Like I was seeing those every time I closed my eyes.
Whoa.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
It was really crazy. But
That's
it was the dancing also, the dancing and the drumming that was like bringing it about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting what you said about, you know, you felt like you were channeling something, because actually recently, I'd say in the past year, I've been starting to dance in a particular way with my natural dance, and a couple of people have made comments to me saying, oh, you dance, it's kind of like you're doing Tai Chi. And then like I see like a mentor, a spiritual mentor who I've been seeing for about 1.5 years. She's helped me change my life tremendously, and she actually said to me, I think you're very cool to do Tai Chi. So I was feeling like really, really connected to it, and I feel like somehow I'm channeling something with Tai Chi.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to start that, and maybe I might find some sort of information.
Yeah, it might be past life stuff.
Yeah.
Like I know that my teacher Niall, he talks about how a lot of the time your skills will be acquired from past lives, even if you don't consciously know. Because when I talk to him, he'll just be like, "Oh yeah, you seem to know all these things, and you have these aptitudes because for sure you've definitely done all these things in like past lives before." Yeah. And I'm just like, nuts, but that's what they say. Yeah. But
absolutely.
You could look into Penchak Silat as well.
Okay.
I started doing that when I was in Bali. That's like the Balinese traditional martial art, and it's very similar to Tai Chi. It's like it's a martial art, but it's also a dance. So they use it for performance as well. So it's not just for like combat. Yeah,
I think I've seen that actually, like on YouTube. It's like really beautiful.
Yeah, it's
amazing. Yeah. Oh, look it up. Yeah. I just feel like it's amazing what you can channel through movement, and I find that music to me is really important. It's a huge passion of mine, and I find that dancing to certain kinds of music brings out certain moods in me and different kinds of feelings. So kind of what I want to do is start some transformational dance workshops and basically help people unlock their creative inner door. And because a lot of people they think they're not creative, but we're all actually creative beings as well. And because of that, people are suffering from illness and stuff, and a lot of stress. And just unlocking that door can help with so many things, I feel. Yeah,
because that's like about balancing the feminine, and which is so necessary. I talk about it a lot on my channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we've kind of come to this place where we just value very left brain, scientific, and it's kind of destroying the planet. So bringing all that art and movement and feminine aspects of the human experience is going to be so important for balancing the world. But just I want you to tell, if you don't mind, to tell the people how you came to this place where you're kind of bringing dance and healing together. I mean, because I've heard the story, but I want you to tell me.
Absolutely. So basically, about 5 years ago, I had a health crash or awakening, as I like to see it as now, because I see it as like a huge blessing what happened to me. So it was like a wake up call to change my life, and I stopped taking the contraceptive pill, and all hell broke loose. It was pretty toxic. Like that's a whole other story for another time.
Yeah.
But I went through like an awful time with my health and was bedbound for almost a year. So what helped me was obviously researching and healing myself, because I just run around in circles about what to do. So I started researching how to heal the body, with natural things like herbs and supplements and everything like that, and food, obviously. So then that brought me to looking at how to heal the emotional body, and I realised that the two were connected.
Yeah.
So then I started to understand that the underlying causes of my illness were obviously emotional causes. So then I started working on those, and I feel like dance really, like I said earlier, really tied into all of this, because at the time when I was really bad, that was the only thing I could connect with. So that was one of my main, in a way, healing tools.
Yeah.
And like everything's different for everyone, but for me personally, one of the most healing things was finding my creativity again.
Yeah.
Above even all of the herbs and stuff
Really?
I take. Yeah.
I didn't know
and
that.
that was quite powerful
Yeah.
when I've been working with my mentor, because I initially went to see her about why do I have these health problems, and I want to know like about the past and why do I have them all. And actually it turns out that I had just like a lot of blocks and stuff, and when I moved them out of the way and decided to align myself with my path and do what I love, then things like started drifting away from me, like all the negative things and like illnesses. So I'm still healing. I'm definitely not like super healed, and like, you know, I've not got like a protocol for you all, but because it's like everyone's different obviously, but I do know many different things have helped me in a holistic sense. So it's like diet, herbs, you know, supplements are key in this world, because obviously like the soil is really depleted and we're really depleted. And obviously just keeping like, I know it sounds cliche, but like trying to keep like a positive mindset and trying to raise your vibration in whatever way you feel is right for you. Yeah. So for me, the most healing thing was actually, you know, after all the different sort of tests I did, and I went to a healing centre in Cyprus, it was actually finding my creative spark again.
Yeah. I think following your journey, like just over social media while I was travelling and we were in different countries, but then also meeting up with you, like whenever I'd be back in London, the conversations that we had also like triggered me to kind of go really deeply into this stuff as well, because my health issues have never really been physical that much. I've never had any physical health problems, but I've just had really unhealthy patterns like in relationships and things like that. And like I've always had issues with my sleep as well. So I've had like unhealthy kind of behaviors, and I've realized that a lot of those are actually like mental. So just, you know, just not being disciplined and things like that, and a lot of like negative self-talk. So talking to you is like really helped me understand like those layers and how you can kind of heal your mindset even by, you know, by using physical things like herbs and kind of essential oils and stuff like that. So and dance as well, because when I was in Bali, like ecstatic dance was like it's such a popular thing. They've now got it all over the island, and I just found that going to ecstatic dance every weekend was just so good for my spirit. Like it just, you know, kept me feeling so good about myself and like really helped me focus on like, you know, setting up my business, which is what I was there to kind of focus on.
Absolutely. How long do you, I've never personally been to like a full ecstatic dance class, and I'd like to try. How long do you usually dance for? Because it's a setting where there's no directions though, it's just guidance. Usually,
well, I've been to different kinds of ones. So there was like, and most of them are about 2 to 3 hours. And then sometimes they have like a sort of party atmosphere. So they'll have like ecstatic dance, and then there'll maybe be somewhere where you could get like cacao or other kinds of drinks and food and stuff. Or sometimes they have it really strict where it's just the ecstatic dance and just water and no conversation unless you go outside and things like that. But people obviously take breaks in that time, but generally it's like 2 hours. But then I've been to other ones that were more guided as well. Like I went to, I think, 5 Rhythms, or maybe it was 5 Elements here in London. And that was really nice actually, because she actually, I think it was Fuzia who did the equinox party, but she kind of guided you through it, where she was just like, okay, like I want you to be like down on the ground, and so you'd be like, people would be crawling on the ground, they'd be like writhing around, and then she's like, now I want you to be like in the middle. And so it actually helps you kind of use the space and use your body in ways that you might feel like too inhibited to do otherwise. Because obviously when people first go, a lot of ecstatic dance that I would go to, especially the ones in Bali, a lot of newcomers would be very inhibited. They're just like, what, so I'm supposed to just go into this space and just start moving? Like it's kind of, it's intimidating, it's nerve-wracking, especially when there's all these like beautiful hippie looking people who are like, you know, glowing and tanned, and they're like being so free. If you just arrived in Bali and you don't know anything about this scene, it's super intimidating. So having somebody to like guide you through it and kind of say, be like this, or use your knees, or dance with your elbows, it actually kind of gets you into your body and helps you lose those inhibitions. So that was a good one.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's it. Because obviously, like, it's like bridging that gap between, you know, people that we're all good.
I hope so.
Did it stop filming? No,
no, it's just a little pop up. But
okay,
we've got it here as well.
Fantastic.
So in case you lose that, we have
that. So yeah, we're bridging that gap between the people, because obviously, like, people usually want to come because they don't want to do the choreography side, they don't want steps, and maybe their brain doesn't want to do like something so set. But then, like, not having it too far the other way, where people come into an environment where it's like, you know, there's people going for a long time, and you know, it might be a bit intimidating to some. So I wanted to like do like a more gentle version of that, building up people into that kind of thing.
So how do you know how you're going to structure yours?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to start by doing them in London, and they're probably going to be around 2-hour classes, and it will be a fusion of my passion for music and my experience with contemporary dance, because that's my background. But it will be sort of like a multi-sensory experience, and taking people through different thoughts, and there'll be like tasks as well, and a bit of partner work, so it'll be quite varied during the journey.
Partner work, so like eye gazing and stuff. There might be a bit of that, but it'll be more sort of like movement based, and sort of playing around with lots of different tools I've used over the years as a dance artist. I always get so intimidated whenever I have done a couple of things like that, and it's challenging. It's super challenging, like when you have to do the eye gazing with people. Like I did one workshop actually in Bali, which was like it was actually breath work. It was actually one of my friends, Ab, who runs this amazing breathwork workshop, and he does eye gazing as part of it. And it was not. I actually started crying.
Really? Yeah, because it's powerful.
Because it was so intense, and I was just like, you know, I like to kind of give off this like kind of, you know, really strong and like badass and whatever. I was the only person in the workshop that was just bawling like a baby, because I couldn't handle being so seen and so vulnerable, and like people just looking directly in my eyes. And the breath work obviously brings up a lot of, you know, traumas and things like that. But yeah, I was just, and then when he goes, and bring your inner child into the space, and I was just like,
deep down you're like super soft. You're a softie at heart in a good way.
It was embarrassing.
I actually had a similar experience where I cried. It was a beautiful experience actually. It was like it was a lady, and I felt like we looked into each other's cores in a really pure way, and it was very, very powerful. It was one of the most powerful things of that year, 2 years ago, I think. Made an impression on me.
Was that the constellation workshop that we did?
No, it wasn't the constellation workshop. It was another workshop I went on. There's so many good ones, isn't there? There is.
Like, how does it, I mean, I know how it raises your vibration, but do you want to explain how it helps to raise your vibration?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're doing natural dancing and dance, and you're coming together in a group, everybody, and to music, because music's very high vibrational as well, it definitely helps you feel like release a lot of tension, a lot of stress, and it can actually like make you feel like a new person. You can come into a room feeling super depressed and go out feeling like super energized and ready for the day. So I think dance is just, because physically you're obviously moving your body a lot as well, and it's I find personally, maybe, you know, it's not for everyone, but I find it so fun that I don't even feel like it's exercise. But you know, it's obviously fantastic for your cardio and everything, and it's just like releasing so much, like on a subtle level. But that's why a lot of people do it, and they don't feel like it's so much. You know, like if you go to the gym and say, "Oh, I'm tired," or you know, like you do it and you feel a buzz. But whereas dance, I feel is quite energising, even if you're tired. So it definitely like raises your endorphins and stuff, like as you're dancing. I think that's why people, like, you know, when they've had like a terrible week at work and whatever, they need to kind of go let their hair down at the weekends and go clubbing. And obviously that's quite a toxic manifestation of that need, because it, you know, it's a lot of drinking and you know, sometimes hedonistic behaviour. But I think it's that kind of move in your body, and like that people need to do, because it's social as well. It's like really social. I mean, when I was in Ubud,
I flew there by myself on my own and didn't know anybody. I mean, I knew a couple of people from the first time I'd gone, but you know, you obviously need to make new friends, and I didn't know how long I was going to be there, so I just took myself to ecstatic dance, and every time I went, I made like one or two like friends who I'm still friends with, and then through them I met all these other people. So it's like
fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing, like sociable thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think especially in London, like because a lot of the cities, obviously, you know, there's a lot of people here, but it can get very lonely, and people want to connect, and I think it's a great way for people to come together and connect. And I think the people that like really, really need it as well are like the kind of people that work office jobs and work in the city, and you know, go like to work hurried in like all tense, go and sit at their desk all tense, go back home really tense, and then sit home and do it all again. Like I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said that they're now making like people in the city work like younger millennials work like 19-hour days, and you know they're just like killing them basically.
That's just,
like
that's just
in this masculine, so it's like you know, and it's like super like masculine, and it's like, you know, and it's just like destroying like people's lives and stuff. And I really, really want to work with those kind of people, actually. Yeah. And I feel like those kind of people will probably resist it the most, but I feel...
Do you think so? Because I feel like so many people are like, okay, you got to like work, have a high-powered job, like do 8 hours work a day, then go to the gym afterwards, and which I find completely unnatural, because I don't think that our ancestors would go to the gym every day. Like they would just have the kind of, they would do the kind of daily routine that was quite movement
which was the gym. And
so like going to the gym every day, I just think is not I actually stopped doing any kind of gymming or anything. I even stopped doing yoga for like the last few months, and my body hasn't changed at all. I'm still in the same I've actually lost weight a little bit
since stopped doing the exercise as well.
And I think a lot of it's mental as well, because as soon as I realised our ancestors didn't go to the gym every day, why am I trying to squeeze in like a 1 hour yoga session? And I was doing Ashtanga yoga as well, which is like super yang energy. I was just like, I'm just going to stop doing this, and then if I maybe want to like do like ecstatic dance or something, you know, because it's a great way of combining like, you know, exercise, like a weekly exercise practice with socialising and partying and having fun. So that's pretty much all I do now, and my body's exactly the same as it's been. Great. I'm still maintaining myself and modelling. So.
That's what I mean. It's like a great way of exercise without you even seeing it as exercise.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fantastic for that.
Yeah, I remember we did. Do you remember when I did that job in Lake Como?
Yeah.
For Kush magazine. Yeah, I remember one night we just randomly, like after dinner, that one of the hairstylist who was on the job, he actually used to be a dance choreographer, so he just started like busting out some moves, and so we just decided this will be fun, because every night, you know, we're staying in this amazing villa, and we're there for like 4 days or something shooting these. We had to shoot a couple of campaigns while we were there. So every evening we were just socialising and entertaining ourselves. And so he just busted out like this choreography, and so we all just started joining in, and then one of the stylists got like the dressing up, but he got his styling kit out with all the fabrics and started dressing everybody up, and then we were all just like, and then it just erupted in all of us just basically essentially doing like this natural dance or ecstatic dance. And we were just all just being just crazy and like running around. And for me, I'd already been doing ecstatic dance quite a lot already, but afterwards for them it was all, a lot of them, it was in like a new thing, like they hadn't really been like that. And afterwards, like we did this for like an hour or something, an hour and a half. We were just in the villa just dancing around the place, playing with the costumes, and then everyone was just like, oh, I feel amazing, I feel so good. And I'm like, guys, like you should come with me to ecstatic dance. This is what it's like, this is how you feel when you come out, like every time,
because
like,
you can get things off your chest that you can't say, and because you've got them off your chest without having to go through the confrontation of perhaps saying it or saying it, you feel like you've released it. And that's what's fantastic about dance, it's because it can speak things that you don't really want to say sometimes.
Do you think that there's a chance that it can actually make you feel worse in some ways, like it can actually lower your vibration depending on the kind of movement or the music?
Yeah, it depends on, I think music definitely like influences a lot of movement, and for some people for example, if you're wanting to really like quiet the mind, so if it can be quite triggering to listen to techno music, or if you're trying to, but then again, if you're trying to release anger and tension, the best kind of music is to listen to like bongos.
Really?
But if you're going to release anger and tension, then you probably don't want to listen to like kind of the flute or something. But I feel like the bongos is really a really great way to release anger and for angry people. So drumming is fantastic for that.
So how do you cater the music, like the playlist, to, because you're obviously working with so many different people, how are you gonna, I suppose that you haven't started doing them yet, but
gonna have some on my website actually, some playlists,
yeah, because sometimes when I go to ecstatic dance, there'll be music playing that I'm really not connecting with, and it can be hard to kind of, and they do say sometimes, like, if you're not, even if you don't like the music, ask yourself, how would I move with this music that I don't like? And sometimes it's just like, nah, I'm just
doesn't feel natural, just stand it.
Absolutely.
I'm the same, like, because I grew up listening to all kinds of music because my parents took me to festivals and gigs when I was very young, like when I was basically like a toddler. So I was exposed to different kinds of music growing up, and there's certain kinds of music like I'd listen to and just like, you know, in my teens and growing up, and I'd just be like, I can't dance to this, and one of my friends would be like at a festival like, I just can't dance to this, let's go. But I mean, I listen to quite a few different genres, and I would say that through my research of music over the years, and like I am open to so many different genres, so I've collected like a sort of a good knowledge of different styles of music. So I do, when I'm making my playlists for the classes, I do take, it's probably the thing I take the most time with actually. Perfecting it to, not necessarily to make everything for everyone, but make it a journey and a flow of the music, and some kind of journey. I know it won't always please everybody, the kind of music that's being played, but like the different kinds of feelings and genres, you know, it's not just one specific genre, not just techno. I'll try and infuse world music and even some silence as well.
I found silence. The playlist that you made for the 30-day dance challenge that you did in January, I couldn't dance to it. I found it so triggering.
Really? In what respect?
Because I think I was around 21 when all of that stuff was popular. It was a lot of like Morcheeba and things like that, and
chill wave stuff.
And it just, that time in my life was like, I wasn't very like stable, and I was kind of all over the place. I was in like I just got out of a really toxic relationship with a guy who was like really narcissistic, and I had a lot of problems with like boundaries. And I think I went to Australia around that time, and I was just, I don't know, I just look back at that, at this like really young like girl who didn't have a clue, didn't know how to stand up for herself. And when I started listening to the playlist, I was just like, it was just bringing up all these really uncomfortable feelings, and I was just like, this is not going to raise my vibration.
You can't dance to it. Especially music. I find especially music with lyrics sometimes, because often that's why songs become usually hits, because people relate to the lyrics and stuff and relate to the mood. So I try to use stuff that's got instrumental as well as lyrics, because I think the lyrics can provide, you know, good inspiration for people, but it depends what experience you had with them. It's because there's certain songs you listen to like, that song reminds me of that person or that time, or sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be bad. But I just try to keep it really diverse. Like it's my thing. I'm not into, I will say this, I'm not really into modern music so much. I'm really into like all different genres, but kind of not really what it's about now. I find everything that's out now to be the same kind of stuff, and it's very watered down, and you know, I'm just not really into modern music, but I have got a diverse taste.
I know what you mean. I did find, talking about like when people get triggered, I did find that some of the, especially in Ubud, when I would go to the ecstatic dance events in Ubud, especially the first one I went to, like some of these people are so, I mean, you know, they're so used to being in that kind of environment where people are so vulnerable and so open about the fact that they're on a healing journey and that they've been through trauma that they're trying to work on. I went there and I was like, whoa, these people are like so woo. Like, you know, I would see people on the dance floor and they would just be like, there would be like two girls in the middle just like going, holding each other's hearts and like crying, or there'd be like a girl who would just be like in lotus like this on the floor and just crying her eyes out while everybody's dancing around her, and I'm just like, this is just
people loopy type thing. But
it was cool, because I remember when I went away I did really miss it, and I was like, I want to go back to that magical land of, like,
well, actually
Bali.
a friend was just telling me that ecstatic dance originated from the LSD experiments.
Really?
I do need to research this more, but apparently it originated from that.
So, I won't be surprised. Your post that you made on Instagram today about the splits, and how it doing the splits,
splits. Oh my gosh!
Started releasing emotional baggage. That really interested me.
It really, absolutely, and like for a while now, I've been wanting to do the box splits, middle splits, and I see my pole teacher once a week, and she wanted to commit to it, so we both thought we'd be held each other accountable and to have a go at it this year. So she came over last night with her ankle weights, which were pretty intense. So we did like a lot of, because she teaches a lot, and we did a lot of stretching and getting into different positions, holding them. It was kind of like yin yoga for a while, and then she got me up against the wall and put the ankle weights on and split my legs out, and I was like, this is so uncomfortable. Not just physically, but emotionally. Really? And I was like, well, but then I got into it and stuff. But she said tomorrow or tonight you'll start releasing a lot. And I actually had a really intense dream last night.
Really?
I woke up very, very tired. Like I felt like I'd been sort of hit by a truck type sensation. You know, when you feel like you can't get out. You feel like
I get that
like that. And I was like, oh wow. And then like throughout today, I've been feeling like random moments of just tears coming.
Really?
Yeah, just like completely like, you know, like it's almost like it must be some sort of kind of emotions coming up. Like I've had it 3-4 times today, where it's just like I always lost my breath as I became breathless. But it's also been really healing, because when you actually stretch like that, it can release the tension out of the joints and stuff that's locked there, and women hold a lot of emotions in the hip area, so that area's become quite congested with emotions and stuff, so it's really good to release that. But it can be, when you're healing, obviously it's not like a linear path, it can be painful, or you can feel things that you might have felt before, or feel emotions, and I feel like I was, you know, letting go of some old baggage today, perhaps. It was some sort of release. You know? Could
you pinpoint what it was?
No, I actually couldn't pinpoint what this particular one was, but I just know it was from the stretching, from the movement, and because the fascia. Do you know about the fascia?
You've told me about the fascia, but if you could just
so the fascia is like a web-like structure that kind of goes around like all your muscles, and it kind of looks like stringy, kind of almost like a spider web.
Like an orange.
And what happens with the fascia is it can easily get like bundled up and caught, and what happens is that kind of affects the muscles surrounding it and everything, so that can actually be a direct cause of pain. So when the fascia goes like that, unless you kind of manipulate it to get it back healthy again, it can cause restrictions, and then from that it can trap emotions. So there is a direct link to fascia and emotions, and there's some good things you can do, like deep stretching. You can do saunas, dry skin brushing, even go for myofascial release, which is like a form of massage which helps with that. And again, I've been for myofascial release, and actually it did release like emotionally. He said after he worked on my stomach area and everything, he said that the next day he might feel a bit emotional, and I did. My
friend Evan, who I've had on this channel before as well, he said that he went for
myofascial release.
I think it was a roll thing in
Bali.
Bali.
Rolfing.
And he said that there were like traumas coming up, and he could actually pinpoint what they were as well, that after the session. But I think yin yoga as well, where when they use like the tennis balls, that also helps release it. It's just
absolutely.
But I want to get the fascia blaster, just because you said that might help me.
I'm going to show you it.
My hips down.
Well, actually, you can. You can actually, let me just get it out. You can borrow this, because I've got like 4. You can take this one if you want. Yeah, you can have it.
Oh my god, yeah.
You can have it, it's got a bit of dust on it, sorry. Because I've got like 4, so you can have that one. So this is the fascia blaster, folks, and it is exactly what I was saying about before. It's a tool that helps kind of release the fascia, and it's completely safe. I've been using the small one for like 1.5 years. And it can help with, obviously, pain and all that kind of stuff, skin tone. It's
cellulite, isn't it?
Yeah, and you use it really lightly, but we'll do another video on that perhaps. And you can do before and after results or something.
Yeah, because you said it might help narrow my hips.
It helps with like, you know, kind of releasing like toxins out of the body from underneath the skin, so it can help with like weight loss as well, skin tone and cellulite.
Because for me, my weight distribution is down here.
Yeah.
And you said that might be a fascia.
You can target areas with the fascia blaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll look into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Give it a go.
Yeah. Okay. So, was there anything else that you wanted to say about the
dance? Just dance. Basically, I'm about to launch my London workshop, so follow me on Instagram, Laura Cherry Dance.
You're such a pro. I should have got that out. Yeah, and, obviously I'll put a link to all your stuff.
No, that's cool. Yeah. And then
when are your workshops launching?
So they're going to be launching in late spring. So keep your eyes peeled. So very soon I will be announcing them.
Amazing.
And they're going to start in London, but I plan to take them all over.
You're trying to manifest workshops in Ibiza.
Ibiza, I feel like there's a calling to Ibiza for sure. Getting on Cafe Del Mar, that'd be a dream. Yeah,
perfect. All right. Well, thanks very much for tuning in, guys. Love and light to all the soul fam everywhere, and we'll see you in the next video.
Peace.
Bye now.
You're introduced to LSD, and unless you've taken some other drug, like for instance like marijuana or something. Well, you know, it's an altogether new thing.